What's going on YouTube? This your boy Chart Slayer here, and today we're going to be talking about how to get sniper entries. Okay, so first, what is a sniper entry? A sniper entry is pretty much you using top-down analysis and honing down on your entry on the smaller time frames or whatever time frame you personally choose from so you can make money. It's all about low risk and high reward, okay? Now, why does this matter? Why this matters is because you end up having a tight stop loss and a very tight entry with a huge reward. Remember this, the lower the time frame, the tighter your entry and the tighter your stop. The higher the time frame, the wider your entry and the wider your stop, and the more patience that you need, right? Until you get in that massive profit. Now, what are the two types of ways you can hone in on your entry and actually get that sniper entry that you're looking for? One, you can use the regular horizontal boxing the market in support and resistance method, or you can use the pattern method, which utilizes more of the trend lines. It's up to you on what exactly you want to do in order for you to be successful at whatever you want, right? So we're gonna go ahead and get to the charts, and I'm gonna show you several examples, or really the examples of the boxing and the trend line, so you can actually get an understanding on what I'm talking about. All right, so when it comes to actually using so when it comes to actually using your sniper entries, you always have these two tools, right? Like I said, you have these box tools or you have this trend line tool, right? One of these tools is what you're going to be using in order for you to actually hone in on your entry, right? Me personally, I use this tool, which is the trend line tool. And like I said, it's your personal preference on which one exactly you want to use. Now, how do you actually use this tool, right? You'd box in the market, right? And then you kind of wait for it to break out depending on what you'd use, right? So it's up to you on how exactly you want to do this, but it's pretty much a win-win on either way. So let's talk about top-down analysis, right? Top-down analysis is pretty much working from the higher time frames and working your way down in order for you to catch the entry that you're looking for. So let's go to the weekly time frame and see what we can do, right? So on the weekly time frame, we know that price is moving down impulsively and then forming a correction and then dropping, right? That's what we see off of GA at this very moment. But how exactly are we, really, what does that even mean in regards to actually entering into the trade, right? So let's drop down to the daily and see what we got next, right? So we kind of have this downtrend, right? Pay attention to how I'm doing this. I worked from the weekly, right? Found out that we're in a correction, meaning that this could move to the downside or will move to the downside very soon, but that's not enough for us to actually enter. So now we went to the daily time frame to figure out what trend we were in, and we're actually still in this downtrend. Price came down, corrected, and then now is dropping back down to the downside, right? So now that we know that this trend line is here, now we go to the full hour, and this is where we're going to actually use one of those boxes or trend lines that we had talked about, or patterns that we had talked about before. So let's go back to what I had spoke about originally. Boom, right? So this is the box that we're going to box in, the support and resistance, and we're going to be waiting for price to either break out of either one of these levels. If we reverse this, replay this, right? We're waiting for this to break out. As you can see, price came down and wicked, right? Let's go ahead and drop this down here. Price came down and wicked it and closed back up here. But 9 times out of 10, a lot of traders do not enter off the 4 hour, right? A lot of people enter off the 1 hour, the 15 minute. Let's go on the 15 minute and see if we can actually hone in even more on the entry. All right, let's see if we can hone in even more on the entry. All right, and let's play this out to see what's going on. So we have 2 touches here, and I'm going to change this color so we can make it a lot more simple. We have a touch here and a touch here, right? From wick to wick. Now we're going to wait for price to actually break through, because we know we're in a downtrend. So we want to actually sell it. We don't want it to break up. If it breaks up, that'll be a counter trend trade. We're in a downtrend on the higher time frames. That was the point of drawing that trend line, right? So even though this is breaking up, we want this to actually break down, right? So let's extend this out. Actually, let's evolve this, right? So now price is creating its own wave, right? It's creating its own wave. Let's see what the market is bringing to us, right? Boom. All right, so this is what happened. All right, so let's talk about it. Price is now bouncing between this high and this low. This wick is now counted as volatility, so we're not even going to count this. So what we want is price to break through here on the 15-minute, close below this low on the 15-minute, and then we'll figure out what stop we have as price gets to that level, right? So we're going to play and see what happens. See how price wicked it again? Now we're getting close to the level. Boom. If we get a close below this zone, right, we're going to enter into the trade. We just need a close here. Boom. We got a close, right? So this is where we put our short position in. We take the trade. We have, because this is GA, we have around an 85 pip stop. Oh, this Fugazi, this thing's acting up. Boom. We have around an 85 pip stop. And then if we go back to the 1 hour, figure out our next support. Right? This is our TP1. This is our TP2. Price can come all the way down here. Right? So we pretty much have more than enough to pretty much make money. Right? And if we play this out, see how we made profit? Look at that. That's money right there. That's money. So I want you to understand what we did, right? And I don't want you guys to get confused. All we did was on the 4 hour, we found a period of consolidation, boxed in from wick to wick. Then we went down to the 15-minute. You can go to any time frame. Went down to the 15-minute, then identified another form of consolidation. But what really matters in the consolidation? Why did I draw it here? What I saw was 2 touches minimum as a resistance and 2 touches minimum as a support, right? And this counts as well, right? As a support. So because I saw that, I decided to box this in. Mind you, when it comes to trading, everything is subjective, right? So somebody could have boxed something else in. They could have boxed this price in, right? They could have boxed this price in. It's really subjective when it comes to stuff. But me, I'm looking for touches, right? So if I can identify touches, then I'm going to box that in. And from there, you see how it played out, right? So that's what you want to look for when it comes to trading. Now let's talk about the trend line version, the patterns, right? On how exactly you would have traded this. So let's use the same exact example. We're going to use, I don't remember how it went, but here, right? I believe it was this. Now on the 4 hour, let's see, what do I see? Right, so this is what I see off the 4 hour. I see a bearish flag already forming off the 4 hour. What is a bearish flag? A bearish flag is a correction, right? Is a consolidation, right? Pretty much an impulse, correction, continuation, correction, continuation, correction, continuation. The correction points are your flags, right? Anything against the trend. So what I'm looking for when it comes to patterns is I'm just looking for a retest, right? What could possibly happen in this retest, right? So we had a bearish flag right here. That could have told you that this is ready to sell, but you wouldn't have known that in hindsight. So let's really hone in. Boom. Now let's hone in on what this is. So now we see that price is forming a little bit more complicated flag, a little bit more of an expanding formation. Right now we get to be a little bit more complicated, right? We get to be smarter with our entry. All right, let's see what happens. Boom. You see how price bounced from this flag, bounced down, bounced back up to this zone, and then dropped. So in my eyes, if price bounces back to this high, I would be looking to sell. If not, I would want price to come up, come back down, retest, and then drop. That would be my way of actually entering into this trade. right? Gave us a volatility, gave us a little bit of hype, right? So now we evolve our trend line. Even though this would be a nice level, we can't, to actually take the sell, we can't ignore this level to take the sell, because these are two areas of resistance, and we always sell as high as possible. Either we sell at this zone, we sell at this zone, or we sell at this zone. Whatever price does at this area, these areas is where we're going to be looking to sell. And how I'm going to sell is from an engulfing candle or whatever candlestick that it brings me, a pin bar, which happened exactly right here, right? So I would have entered off this pin bar, right? I would have entered off this pin bar. Let me actually bring out my tool, right? Entered off this pin bar, stop loss above this high, above structure, which would have been around a 45 pip stop. And then I would have dropped it down to whatever it is, right? And you see that we would have been an instant profit from there. And that's how we use the trend lines, right? So I want to break down what we did, right? So we identified a pattern from our trend lines. And then after we identified the patterns, we are identifying, like I did before, 2 touches. It's very, very similar, but it's how you trade it that's different. Right, so instead of waiting for it to break out of the zone, I'm waiting for it to touch the highest point of the zone, and then I'm going to sell it. Right, this is all from top-down analysis. Right, you can do this with or without indicators, and this is what the best part is when it comes to trying to get those sniper entries. I could have done this on the lower time frames. Right, you saw I had a 50 pip stop loss. Picture if we rolled this back here to this level again. Right, and we went to the same exact entry, same exact point. This was another pin bar right here. Now we can hone in our stop loss even more. Now instead of a 50 pip stop loss, we're at a 30 pip stop loss, right? So this is all from just bringing in and honing down on the entry, so you guys can actually make more profit. And if we just play it out, you see price really took off. Right, and that's what honing in on your entries can do when you know what you're doing, know how to get sniper entries. And like I said, all you're doing is identifying your correction, identifying high points in the market, and then looking for candlesticks. When it comes to boxing the market in, you're looking to box the market in, find a form of consolidation, box the market in, look for 2 touches, then wait for the breakout or the retest of those touches. It's up to you on which way you want to do, but you can really hone in on your entries if you know what you're doing. Now remember, when it came to the sniper entries, all we did was use top-down analysis to hone in on our entry and stop loss. That's all it is. That's all sniper entries are. So let's go ahead and get back into it. All right, you guys, so I hope you really enjoyed. I also want to let you guys know to just hit that like button if that's something that you're into. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. I do want to let you guys know that you guys have really put in a lot of comments saying that you wanted my trading template, my trading plan template. So it is in the description below. Also, what's in the description below is if you want to use the same platform that I'm using, which is TradingView, right there below. If you want to use the same broker that I use, right there below. Everything is right there below. Any gear that I use is also right there below, you guys. So I appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. I know I'm acting stupid, but being dumb, maybe just a little bit foolish. I feel so young. Drunk, I've never seen you clearer than now. We're flying high, floating somewhere up in the clouds. We're going out of ourselves, can you feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real, cause when we're doing our thing, we're like wheels that won't stop turning.